Dear students, welcome back to Bishop Academy online classes. Today we have to discuss over the very first chapter of civics, the Constitution, its chief characteristics, oblique features for the student of class 8th. For starting this chapter, it becomes essential for us to get discussed over the term Constitution, what the Constitution is. So certainly, as your book indicate, Constitution is a set of rules, certainly in form of a book, according to which the government of a country runs. It is the book in which all the rules, regulations, term, conditions which is essential for running a government get written or printed. Second, it defines the position and powers of government's various organs. Certainly, we find that government have various type of organs, as in previous classes you study that there are three main organs of government. These are judiciary, legislative and executives. So, in Constitution, the responsibilities and powers of these three organs, which type of work has been done by judiciary, which type of work has been done by legislatives and which type of work has been done by executive get written. From there they get their responsibility and work according to their responsibility. Third, it explains the relation between government and people. Which type of work and why the works have been done by the government for the welfare of people, who have more importance, whether the government or the people. Entire these things get cleared by Constitution. As in case of India, we find that India is a welfare state in which government have to do all the things for the wellness of people, so that the people could live happily and enjoy their freedom, liberty, equality and fraternity, which are the base of modern world. Next, it controls misuse of power by government and safeguards the right of citizens. Certainly you find one particular people could not stand against the government, as government has a large machineries. Certainly you find that government have police, paramilitary forces, even army, which government could used in condition, or you can say various type of conditions. So none people of a particular country could work against the will of government. So government become arbitrary if there is no restriction over the government. That's why Constitution make it clear that what the limit of a government. Entire these things become clear in Constitution, and government follow their limits that has been granted by Constitution. Next, you have to know the role and importance of Constitution in a democracy. You find that India is a democratic country. So entire these things have been applicable in India. The very first thing, it lays out certain ideals according to which the country is to be governed. It works as a lighthouse for the government in ruling a country. Along with it, the Constitution defines the country's political system, whether it is democratic or communist or dictatorial. As you find in present time, India has a democratic government, China have a dictatorial what you called communist government, and North Korea have dictatorial government. So their way of performing their duties is differ due to their political system. They work as per the system adopted by them. Along with it, Constitution provides fundamental rights to the people to safeguard their lives against the tyranny of government, so that they could live a purposeful and prosperous life. Along with it, it clearly demarcate the function and processes of different organs of government. In India, you find that there are various autonomous organization or institutions, like you find there are Election Commission, Supreme Court, or even IB, CBI, even you can say that there are various economical institutions like FICCI. So entire these, or RBI, entire these organization work autonomously. Entire these organization get their powers and responsibilities from Constitution. In Constitution, the declaration for the formation of these institutions, and even there we find the printed materials for the responsibilities and power of these organization. What would happen if there were no restrictions on the power of the elected representative? Certainly, you find that if a person get a lot of power having no control over it, then it become autocratic and started to what you called puzzled, or even it create threat to the life of people if these persons has been not restricted. As we see in most of the dictatorial form of government, where dictators provided order to kill many of the persons. Only the will of the dictator could be capable of killing various persons. So these things could not happen if we have constitution and the things get written in it. If we get discussed over the ideals of the Indian constitution, then we find entire these things get written in its preamble. Preamble is the very first page of book from where we get information related to the text of the book, that why this book get written, who write it, and what is importance of that particular book. Entire these things even get written in the preamble of Indian constitution. There are various important factors or terms which clears the principles of our constitutions. Among them, the very first is sovereign. Sovereign means there is no external force which could enforce Indian government to implement certain decisions. Means to say, Indian government is free to adopt any type of decision for the welfare of its citizens. Second, it is a socialist country. Socialist countries are those countries where means of production has been controlled by government to provide maximum benefits to the people, and government always occupy the means of production like roadways, railways, airways, factories, hospitals. Entire these things has been run by government so that the people could get prosperous services. Next, that is secular. India is a secular country. Here no preference could be given to any of the religion, and even government could not punish any of the person due to their religion, caste, color, creed or region. Next, it is a democratic country. Means here we find that after a certain period people get a chance to vote to select the government on various level. It is a republic. Republic means head of country get elected by people. In India, head of the state, head of the country is considered as president, and this president elected for a certain period by the people of India. In India there is a system of indirect election, as our constitution makers make it clear that Indian people do not have much experience of selecting the head of states or to judge that particular persons on their virtues and vices, because India is a vast country having different type of caste, color, religion and customs. Next, justice. It is an important aspect of modernity. This word also get place in our constitution to provide all people within the India justice, so that they could live a prosperous life, along with it liberty, so that they could work for their prosperity, and equality, so that all the persons get equal opportunities for development and prosperity. Even fraternity is getting a place in our constitution, which is the directive principle taken from our ancient Indian culture, which is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Means to say, in India our constitution say that people or citizen of the country should live as brothers and sisters or as a huge family. Now you have to know about the basic or key features of the Indian constitution. Among them, the very first is written and detailed constitution. India have the world lengthiest constitution containing 395 articles and 8 schedules in original format, but due to various type of amendment, now we have 395 articles and 12 schedules. It is a voluminous document of the government. Along with it, partially rigid and partially flexible. Our constitution makers see the drawback of rigid constitution and even the flexible constitution. That's why some provisions could be kept in the category of rigid and others kept in the category of flexible. So, as you find, some of the provisions of the constitution could be easily amended by a simple majority in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. On the other hand, certain other clause could also be amended with two-third majority of parliament. Even the matters related with state list or power sharing could only be amended with the support of state governments also. Along with it, it is federal in structure and unitary in spirit. India is a federal country. Federal means it is a group of states. In present time, we find that India has 28 states and 8 union territories. So, it is a vast area, and all these states come together or holding together federation imposed in India. So, and even it has a unitary structure, means central government possesses more power than the state governments. Even in case of arbitrariness or constitutionary failure, or you can say administrative failure, the central government took all the power of the state government within its hands. So, these make it clear that India is a federal government, as here you find that various type of lists are there: union list, state list, concurrent list, from where the states get power against the union government. But in case of any type of emergency, entire these powers get snatched from the states. Next, that is parliamentary form of government. In India, the supreme power vested in the parliament, and parliament consisted of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and president. So these three persons, or what you call organization, could took the supreme decision in the country. Okay, here you find that the executive, which have the power to run the government, are answerable to the legislators and even the head of the states like president. Next, separation of power. In India, all the three major organs like judiciary, executive and legislatives work independently. None of these organizations interfere in the work of other organization, and even if the organization or the organs of the government work in an arbitrary way, then other two could control them and curtailed any type or change any type of decision that has been taken by a particular organ of the government. Next, India is a secular state. Our constitution doesn't provide special or what we call official religion. India has no official religion, and certainly people of our country are free to practice any type of religion or any type of state government or central government do not separate the person on the basis of their caste, color, creed, religion or sex. Next, it is a welfare state. India is a welfare state, as the Indian constitution bonded Indian government to save the citizen from internal dangers that has been created by the people within the country, external invasions, if any country attack over India. Along with it, government should work for their means citizens general welfare. All the person live happily and prosperly. Government should provide too much care about entire these things. Along with it, fundamental right of the citizen in India. Citizens have 6 fundamental rights. Among them, first is right to equality, second is right to liberty, third is freedom of religion, fourth is cultural and educational right, and out of entire these, the most important, right to constitutional remedies. Means if any person do not get all these 5 rights, then the person could go to the supreme organization of the country, that is Supreme Court, to enforce a person, institution or even the government to took certain steps to preserve these fundamental right of a person, and also these services provided to the person free of cost. Next, directive principle of the state policies. These are the things which has been included in our constitution, which works as a lighthouse for the government to work to secure economical and social equality within the society, as well as establishing social justice for citizens while making any law and implementing its policy, so that any type of laws or policy could not go against the interest of any caste, color, creed, religion, region or sex of the persons. Next, that is independent judiciary. In India, judiciary kept independent from appointment to retirement. Here are some provisions that appointment of the judges could be done by collegium, which is the organization or the group of judges itself. Government have no say in this particular organization. Along with it, there is provision of security of service. The judges of courts have a certain tenure. No one can suspend them on the case of misbehave or any type of other activities or blame. Even security of pay and allowances could be granted to the judges. From in any type of conditions, government or executive could not cut the salary of judges. At a particular date of month, the judges get their salary, and even in the case of emergency, the judge's salary could not be cut. Certainly there is a special fund organized to provide salaries of the judges. Even they have independent procedure. No one could interfere in the judiciary procedure, and if someone done it, then certainly it is considered as condemned of court, and which is a unbailable offense. Means to say, if someone done it, then certainly the person have to go into jail. Along with it, no practice after retirement. A judge when get retired, no government officials could kept him under the service, so that the greediness of the judges could not be encouraged. So here you find entire these provisions have been made in our constitution, so that the India could remain a most prosperous country of the world, and certainly we find a prosperous country. Now this chapter is over. If you have any type of difficulties, you could write your question in WhatsApp group. I will provide you answer. Thanks.